This is the Federal Xplora MT, and it's one of the most aggressive tires in the Federal tire lineup. This particular model is a 37 by 13.5 R24, and it comes in at right about $1,300 for the set of 4. At that price point, people really want to know, are they any good? So the first question that we always have to ask ourselves in true custom offsets fashion, will they do a burnout? And the answer is yes, they actually do it quite well. So I know what some of you guys might say, this is a mud tire, right? It's an MT, why are you testing on the street? And the reason we do that is because quite simply, I know that a lot of you guys are gonna be buying a mud tire to put it on your truck in street scenarios. So that's why we're gonna take it up and down some roads today. We'll kind of take it over a couple things. We'll do a decibel test just like we've done in the past, so you guys can kind of hear what they sound like and know what kind of sound levels we've got going on. We did the burnout test, obviously. So we'll kind of put her through her rankings today and just give you our honest feedback on the Federal Xplora MT. So like we said, this is the Federal Xplora MT, and it's actually one of the more aggressive mud tires in the Federal Xplora lineup. Now I know what a lot of folks say when you get a mud tire, they're so loud, they're so noisy, and that is kind of true. With a mud tire, you are getting a little bit more noise. Now this, obviously, the Xplora MT was designed around the Federal Xplora MTS, which is their big V tread pattern, more of a show tire, versus the MT here was made to be a little bit more of a dual function tire. So as Federal says, and I'm actually gonna pick my phone up and I'm gonna read this verbatim for you. This is right off the Federal website. They say that the Xplora MTS dominates all terrains, pushing you through gravel trails and muddy bogs with a ferocious look, exceptional traction, safety, and tranquility. So it's really designed to be a good all-around tire, and you'll see that time and time again. This tire in the center of the tread is going to feature kind of an offset, really sharp, alternating hook style center pattern, which is really unique. You don't see a lot of tire treads with that design. So in addition to that center hook design that you're gonna see on this tire, you're also gonna see a staggered shoulder block. So you're gonna have big blocks and then kind of a void and then big blocks again on the side over in that shoulder. And that's really gonna help you guys in case you would find yourself in the snow or in the mud. It's really gonna clear that sidewall out and help you get that maximum amount of traction possible when you're in those less than ideal circumstances. All right, so we are sitting here at idle, and just for comparison's sake, I do have a decibel reader pulled up here. You might not be able to see it. Let me get it in the shadows. So at idle, we're about 46 decibels, which is pretty good. It's pretty quiet inside the truck here. Obviously, we're in a newer Chevy 1500, so that helps quite a bit. But I wanted to do this test for a specific reason, and that is to show you guys what kind of noise that these tires do make. So as we get through the roundabout here, we'll kind of get going. We'll get up to about 40 miles an hour, and then I'll shut up and we'll actually take a look and see just what kind of noise we're making. Perfect. So right about 40 miles an hour, we're sitting at about 70 decibels, which is not super loud. It's pretty equivalent to like a busy street. For reference, a alarm clock in the morning is usually right about 80 decibels. So it is a little noisier than, again, some of your more closed pattern tread design tires. But obviously you guys know that if you're going for that more aggressive mud terrain look, this is something you're gonna look at. So it's the same thing. When you get up to about 70 miles an hour, it's about the same noise level. You're sitting at about 75-ish decibels. And again, not super loud, you know, in comparison to some of the other things you're gonna see for comparison's sake, you know, such as your alarm clock or a busy street, stuff like that. So overall, it is a little bit more of a noisy tire. I do notice myself, you know, as we're kind of driving through town here, we're back down to about 50 now, and I do have to raise my voice just a little bit to speak to my camera guy here, but it's nothing super crazy. There's definitely a whine there. You can hear the mud tires, but it's not like it's overpowering the overall conversation. So it's pretty good considering that most times you're gonna have an exhaust, you know, a straight pipe on your V8, or in the last tire review we had a straight pipe turbo diesel, so same thing. You could still hear the engine and transmission in that regard, and here as well, you're still gonna hear the truck and, you know, the wind noise and stuff rattling around in the back, so it's not like they're overpowering by any means. So in terms of Federal overall, they're a company that's kind of been around for a long time, but maybe doesn't always have that top of mind thought process. And really, it's actually kind of unfortunate because Federal's been in the industry, let me look here, since 1954 actually. So 60, 70 years worth of tire technology now. And they're one of the best companies in the industry. You know, they've been extremely popular across both the cars and, you know, automotive tires, truck tires, even off-road tires, like some of the Garages and some of those have been extremely popular in virtually all facets of the market. And so it's crazy to me that people don't always talk about Federal, because Federal's always been that tire that comes in at a good solid price point and gives you really solid performance. You know, I know in terms of their car tires, I've actually run them on a car of mine, and they were really affordable. They were priced really well, and their performance was fantastic, second to none. So I think Federal is one of those companies that should always come to top of mind when you're looking for tires for that reason. They're priced really well. They have really good product offerings. They have tons of R&D into their products, and just overall, they're a great buy. With that being said though, they are a little bit softer tread pattern. So what that means is that in order to maintain and get the maximum life out of your tires, you are gonna want to rotate them a little bit more frequently. We recommend around every 10,000 miles or so that you rotate them, just to make sure that they wear evenly and that you're gonna get the most life out of your Federal tires. So with that being said, to kind of wrap it up and just give it a once over, the Federal Xplora MT, you know, would we recommend it? And the answer is without a doubt a resounding yes. It's a fantastic tire. They price really well. You know, again, these are 13.5 R24s, which is a pretty massive tire, and they price it at under $1,300. So when you start looking at some of your smaller sizes, your 35, 12.5s and your 33s and etc., the price goes down even further. And then it's the same thing with if you want something a little bit less aggressive, some of their all-terrains, their hybrids and stuff like that, pricing also goes down there. So it's just a really solid, really dependable tire for a good price point. So to kind of wrap it up in summary, yes, we absolutely recommend them. If you want to check out Federal tires, any of their product offerings, you can do so, customoffsets.com, or you can click the link down below. It'll take you there. You can shop around, take a look at what you got. Peace.